Hello and welcome to Manga of the Week. Today's review will be of Vinland Saga, a seinen historical action manga by Makoto Yukimura. It is a monthly ongoing series that started in 2005. It's the turn of the 11th century, specifically 1013 AD, when the king of the Danes, Svein Forkbeard, has conquered most of England, and his sons Harold and Canute are jockeying for the throne. But political intrigue is not what you read Vinland Saga for. You read it for the action. You read it for people killing each other on the battlefield, chopping people's arms off, and people getting almost decapitated. It would be decapitation if it was, an inch lower. No. You read it for Vikings. See, here's your first chapter. You've got these two Germanic Frankish armies. One is holed up in a fortress next to a lake that leads out into the open ocean, and one is laying siege to the fortress itself. Now, the siegers, that's not a word, by the way, they don't have any boats, so they enlist the help of a Viking crew to sneak around back on the lakeside to kill the people guarding the treasure that the people sieging the fortress are trying to get to, and as payment, the Viking crew will get half the treasure. The Vikings agree to it. Next scene, you've got the guards at the back of the castle. They're not doing anything, so they're just kind of goofing off. One guy says that he saw a dragon out in the forest, and everyone was like, dragons don't exist. Were you drunk on your shift last night? Your next shot is of the entire Viking crew charging out of the forest with the entire longboat on their backs. They dump it has a dragon figurehead thing, by the way. They dump the boat in the lake, kill everyone guarding the treasure, double-cross their employers, and take all the treasure for themselves and sail away. That's how the series opens. You barely know people's names. And that's how the series opens. You barely know people's names, and already they're reneging on deals and cheating people out of their hard-earned treasure, and it's awesome. As I said, this is a historical action show, so your cast is a mix of three different types. You've got your historical people that actually existed, like King Svein, Prince Canute. You've got legendary characters like Thorkel the Tall and Askeladd, and then you've got original characters like Thors. The main character is a young man named Thorfinn, loosely based on a Viking explorer named Thorfinn Karlsefni. He's an exceptional fighter, but he's hot-headed and impatient. He joined the Viking crew from the beginning, headed by a man called Askeladd. He joined the crew in hopes of killing Askeladd in revenge for Askeladd murdering Thorfinn's father, Thors. Askeladd himself, he is a Viking pirate based on a Norwegian folk hero who's known for his cunning. As I said before, Thorfinn is trying to kill Askeladd, right? Askeladd knows about this, and he agreed to let Thorfinn join his crew, and he struck a deal with them. For every, super difficult task that he completes for Askeladd, for every one of those, he gets to face him in a one-on-one duel. You have Canute, Prince of the Danes. He appears, I'd say like a quarter into the story. At first, everyone, including the reader, you think he's a woman because he has this long blonde hair and giant eyes, and he's drawn very effeminately, but he's just an effeminate male and very timid. Askeladd, his crew clashes with a brigade led by Thorkel the Tall. Thorkel is this 7-foot giant. He's an even better fighter than Askeladd, and of course Thorfinn challenges him to a duel twice and gets completely curb stomped twice. Now, the art is honestly the best I've seen in an action series. For one, the Danish and Norwegian characters actually look like Danish and Norwegian characters. Not just random anime character with blonde hair and blue eyes. Even though most of them are just actually brown hair and brown eyes, but whatever. This is an action series, and the fight scenes are fluid. Rarely, if ever, I can't even remember the last time I reread a fight scene in this series because I didn't understand how they did what they were doing. If I reread a fight scene, it was because, holy crap, that was awesome. I want to see that again. And the level of detail is amazing. When you have a wooden house, he actually, it isn't just, you just see, wooden slats on the walls, and you understand, oh, that's supposed to be wood. No, he actually draws all the wood grain. Later on in the series, there's a shot of Canute in a full suit of armor when he's sparring with one of his subjects, and you have this full page shot of Canute in the armor, and not only is it just well drawn, it's got like every minute detail. You got like scratches on the armor. Every joint is like freaking perfect, and he even took the time to draw every link on the chainmail. And I read this series, and I'm just like, there's so much effort put into this. How can I not like it? The story, I can't really speak for the historical aspect because history is not my strong suit, but I can speak for the more original parts. Thorfinn, his revenge quest, it started out as the generic, my name is Thorfinn, you killed my father, prepare to die. But as the story progresses and you see that it's really his own motivation, that's its entire drive since he was like 8 and he's like 17 or 18 now, the theme becomes, what happens, well, theme for him anyway, what happens when your only drive is hate and revenge, and when if you can't succeed in your revenge, if that suddenly gets taken away from you, what are you supposed to do now? He planned out his whole life ahead of time just for this one moment, but what if he can't do it? Not in terms of I can't actually stab him. It's more, what if somebody kills him first? What? And even if he did kill him, what then? What is he supposed to do now? The most recent portion of the story deals with Thorfinn becoming a slave and working on a farm. And since this is a monthly series, it does really take a while. Really does take a while for that little plot line to really get going. And a lot of it shows Thorfinn and one of the other slave workers working on the farm, tearing up trees with their bare hands, that kind of thing. And it has caught in a lot of flack because it's so unlike the rest of the series. People like remember back when Dragon Ball Z was airing and everyone was like, are they still on Namek? People ask now about this series, is it still Farmland Saga? But that's really the only bad thing I can say about this series. Like, straight up, the only bad thing. And that's why I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. It's got everything I could ask for. Art that looks like actual art, characters that I can get invested in while still retaining my positive or negative opinions of them, and a story that doesn't treat me like I've never seen a cliche before in my life. Next review will be of Soul Eater, a shonen action series. That episode might be a little late, so just asking that you be patient with that. That might take a little longer than usual.